welcome to another episode of Talk Punch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan.
Hey!
And the Hawkman of this Justice Society, Charlie Hickman.
I always look forward to your nicknames, bro. Thank you.
Not a Dr. Fate, huh? Not Dr. Fate.
No, I don't think Charlie's a Dr. Fate. He's more of a...
No, definitely a Hawkman.
All right. Well, if you haven't already, we'd love if you subscribed, so that way you can come back here every Wednesday to hang out with us and see what we're talking about. Just like this week's topic, we have one of our famous patented drafts. Oh, boy, howdy, I love me a good draft on Talk Punch.
Yeah.
But not just any draft. We're doing superhero movies. We know our audience. You guys like superheroes. You guys like Marvel and DC and Wildstorm. So we're doing a superhero draft. Charlie, tell us about this draft.
So this is going to be a little bit of a, like with each draft that we do, I like to mix it up, give you guys a little bit of a different experience each time. So we're not just doing the same thing over and over again. So tonight's premise is James Gunn is now head of the DCU, and he has asked each of us to headline a flagship property for their new DCU launch. Now, this will take place in an alternate reality where nothing has been announced. So there's no, we're not competing with any other properties. And each category is going to have a wheel spin. Brody, can you show the people at home the wheel?
I sure can.
So the wheel's going to pop up from time to time, and we're going to have to spin this wheel, and you can see it's got our faces on it. And if it lands on your face, sometimes that's a good thing. It means you get to pick first. But most of the time for this event, it's going to be a bad thing. It means the studio is interfering with your project, and they have demands. Oh, they have demands. So you may pick the thing that you think, the actor you think, the direction that you think is important, and the studio may have a different agenda. So stay tuned for studio demands and studio interference, because that is a real thing that happens according to film producers. I surveyed 25 different directors and 32 different film execs to prep this event for you two and for me as well, I guess. So it's going to be fun. I think we'll have a good time. Hopefully it works.
All right.
Nice.
So
the first thing we got to do is let's put the wheel up. The very first thing we're going to do is we're gonna spin to see who goes first. Now there are only 3 characters here that we get to choose from, because the very first studio interference is limiting our choices. Oh, sure, you may have thought, you know what? Let's start the DCU off with some lesser known characters, but no. The studio demands a flagship character to launch their new universe. So let's spin the wheel and see who gets to pick first.
All right, here we go.
It's gonna be Dylan. It's always Dylan.
All right.
Oh, the bearded one.
Uh-huh.
Hey, it's me.
All right, Brodo.
Okay.
Now this is entirely new Batman, right? If you pick it, it's an entirely new Superman, Green Lantern. We're starting from scratch here. This is reboot Ground Zero. What's it gonna be?
I feel like I would normally choose Batman, but I think I'm going to go with Green Lantern. I want to mix things up.
Wow.
All right.
Well.
I hope you'll be replacing that Batman tattoo on your arm with a lantern for one. But
I agree.
Actually, kind of bad. You could get a Green Lantern tat somewhere.
It would be cool. I've thought about getting it.
Well, now you have to.
All right. Well, Dylan, you're up
Just
next.
because of this episode.
Just because of this episode, right
hey,
here.
if this video gets 10 likes, Brody's gonna get a Green Lantern tattoo.
Oh,
yes.
Hey,
now you're talking.
All right, Dylan, who are you picking? Batman or Superman?
I'm going with Batman. That's my guy there. I don't know. I mean, it's a little known fact that I am a Batman enthusiast.
All right. Well, hey, that leaves me with Superman. I'm happy to scoop up the leftovers here in this particular case, because it'd be nice to finally get a good Superman in there. I mean, after that last bad actor they had playing the role.
Oh, come now.
I'm teasing.
That's
for those of you who may not know, Brody's man crush is Henry Cavill, so it's always fun to tease him a little bit. Nothing gets Brody riled up faster than making fun of old Cavill. But don't worry, the cavalry will come to your defense in the comments, I'm sure, Brody. That's the names of Henry Cavill fans. The
Is that
Cavill.
what they're
It's true.
called?
Cavalry.
I mean, it's a good idea.
I mean, if they're not, they should be, right?
They should be.
All right.
You're
Well,
a part of the cavalry, bro.
You can't make a movie without a director. So, boys, it is time now to pick your director. We've got a list of 4 directors here, and brand new for the first time ever, we are introducing a category called Your Choice. It is a fill-in-the-blank option. So you are not subjected solely to the choices that I have given you, but you can go outside the box and pick from the entire universe of, in this case, directors, and fill in your own blank. Now, Dylan, you went second on the first question, so you get to go first on directors.
Okay. Now, when you say your choice, can it be living or dead, or is it just living?
You can pick a dead director. I don't think they'll be very good at directing, though, because they are, in fact, dead. Movies have a lot of power, but you can't resurrect the dead, but you can pick them nonetheless and stick them up there as a puppet or a figurehead. Yes, don't pick dead people.
Okay, good. Look, fair enough. I'm going to go I'm going to go with Brad Bird. He did Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. He also did The Incredibles, which I loved. I'd love to see his take on a Batman movie. Plus, Christopher Nolan's already had a crack at it.
Okay, I am going to go with Edgar Wright. And maybe this is a terrible Superman choice, but my goodness, do I love me some Edgar Wright films. And his creativity and blend of action and humor, that's what I want for my Superman film. That's where I'm going.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, you guys took both of mine.
Your favorite director of all time is still on the list.
I know, my favorite director of all time, yes, is there in Christopher Nolan.
We thought we were making you happy, bro, and here you are still upset with us.
We did you a solid, man. Hey, do your choice and put Spielberg in there. Or Spielbergo from The Simpsons.
I don't think I want a Spielberg. I don't know about Spielberg doing Green Lantern. I'm trying to think of somebody who I think would be really good at Green Lantern.
Jordan Peele.
Christopher Nolan is great. Yeah. I thought about Jordan Peele.
I should have.
Hal Jordan Peele?
Hal Jordan Peele. Oh, that's cool. He would be really good. Come on, bro.
Okay, you know what? I got it. I know who it is. I am doing, as much as I love Christopher Nolan, I don't know about a Christopher Nolan Green Lantern. Something there's a disconnect there for me. Something it just doesn't fit for me. But I am going to go with Christopher McQuarrie.
Oh, all right.
We're gonna get some.
I don't know how to spell that. How do we spell the last name there?
Chris M is fine, I guess.
I like it.
I think it's kind of long too. I don't know if it would fit.
Yeah.
But coming off of the Mission Impossible movies, getting like some awesome stunts, get some real good action scenes in there.
All right. Well, look, bad news, boys. The studio has contacted me, and they have let me know that one of our directors is going to have to go. Let's spin that wheel and see it. Because they have a cousin who is married to a very famous Hollywood director who they are going to insist is helming the project. So let's see whose project gets ruined right away. Spin the magical wheel.
Oh, I really don't want it to be me. No. Come on. It just landed on me. Doggone it.
Oh, all that hard work you put in.
How did it land on me twice? Twice in a row?
I'm so sorry. But I've got good news for you. I'm not saddling me as the studio in this particular. You're not being saddled with some has-been or no quality director here. You get action aficionado, director of the stars, Michael Bay, who will be doing your Green Lantern film. Think of the explosions.
In space. That makes sense.
In space. Michael Bay at the helm of the new Green Lantern movie. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing. Poor Brody. His movie was ruined before it started.
I was so proud of Christopher McQuarrie. And I was like, oh, that would actually be really cool to watch. Son of a gun. Doggone
Well,
studio.
You shouldn't have waited. You shouldn't have waited the wheel to always land on Brody. This is gonna backfire
you. Really willed
you
it, Brody. You willed it.
Well, and it landed on me for the first one, and I'm like, okay, at least it won't land on me 2 times in a row.
But this is how we know you cheated.
Yeah. All right, so
Proof.
now we got to pick some lead actors. All right, and we'll just go in the order that this. So we're not competing from the same lists here. So we'll start with Batman. So Dylan, you are picking the new Batman. Now each of these characters will have an actor who's portrayed the role before. So in this case, you have the choice of Robert Pattinson, continuing on but starting over. So it's not a sequel, but same Batman. You have Richard Madden, who is Robb Stark in the Game of Thrones. I know you watch Game of Thrones, big fan. Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. I know you watch that. Carl Urban from The Boys, or your choice. You can pick any actor in the world. If you need some more time, you can pick your choice and then just wait it out until the end and let us know.
Charlie, don't you go first? Because Dylan went first and got Brad Bird.
But I'm not picking from this. This is the Batman list. I'm not making a Batman movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I will go first on the next group choice one. Good looking out.
Carl Urban. Go Carl Urban, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I love Jensen Ackles, and I wanted to see him as Batman, but Carl Urban is Batman. He's not going to play Judge Dredd again. He's just not, and he is so underrated. I love Carl Urban. Carl Urban, it is.
All right.
I thought you were saying you were
Great.
picking Jensen Ackles, so I'm like,
I was thinking
Carl
about
Urban, and you're like, yeah, Jensen Ackles, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Well, I was just gonna say if it was anybody else besides Carl Urban, I would have been Jensen Ackles in a heartbeat. But Carl Urban is
Let the record show that Dylan had the opportunity to throw a bone to his favorite actor Nathan Fillion and declined.
Nathan Fillion as
Sorry.
Batman.
I know Nathan watches, so
I don't think he would want to play Batman. He would say, Dylan, why are you doing this to me? You know what kind of shape I'm going to have to get into? I'm in excellent shape already.
He might like the choice to decline. That's all I'm saying. All right, so next up we got Superman. So these are my choices for Superman. I got Aaron Taylor Johnson, old Henry Cavill, Liam Hemsworth, Ryan Gosling, or my own choice,
Nathan Fillion.
No, I am tempted.
Liam Hemsworth. He's just going to follow Henry Cavill in everything he does.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm really tempted to pick Hemsworth to just keep stealing Cavill roles. If Henry Cavill's played it, Liam Hemsworth's coming to take it away. So we'll look forward to seeing him in Mission Impossible coming soon as a reprise.
With a mustache.
I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Dylan, I don't know if you know he played Kick-Ass and Quicksilver in the MCU.
Quicksilver, yeah, I know.
You'd be fantastic.
And Craven. He's Craven.
Oh yeah. He's also Craven. That's right.
But that movie doesn't exist in the DCU now. The DCU is eliminated all other DC products. So I'm gonna just for the fun, I think I am gonna go Liam Hemsworth here.
Oh, really?
Really? No. Are you really?
Right. Come on now, he's gonna be so good. He's a towering 6'2", 6'3". He's gonna be getting all yoked up for the Witcher role.
Interference. Studio's like, are you kidding? We're taking the project.
You guys would rather see Ryan Gosling? Is that really? All right, fine. I'll go ATJ just to make you guys get off my back.
Liam.
Is that better? Are we okay with that? Everyone all right?
That's better. You should. I mean, you could have put Liam Neeson on there.
This is like trying to fan cast stuff. There's not a choice that doesn't make everybody mad. I'm sorry, but Henry Cavill doesn't get the role, bro.
We don't talk about fan casting on this.
Time to share the love.
This show.
I came up with these names, by the way, from people's like fan casting and websites that were like, these guys should be the next people. So it wasn't like I just picked people that I liked. It was like from real lists that other people had generated. So I washed my hands of this. The studio exec sent me lists of actors. All right, for your Green Lantern, bro, we got Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny. Ryan Reynolds, who you may remember as Deadpool. Chris Pine in the Star Trek series. John Krasinski, who played in The Office, or your choice.
I remember when Ryan Reynolds got cast as Green Lantern last time. I know Chris Pine was in the running. I remember Bradley Cooper was in the running, which would be...
Oh, yeah. I thought you turned it down.
I don't remember. That was a long time ago. John Krasinski, I love him. I don't know about Green Lantern. Now, we're talking about Green Lantern. Do I get to pick my Green Lantern?
Yep.
Okay. So then
And
I'm
obviously,
going
the
to
casting choice here is gonna make a difference here.
I'm going Hal Jordan because that's my favorite. It's who I grew up with, and that's my Green Lantern. Glenn Howerton, or your choice.
It's hard. This is the hardest. I think the hardest one.
You know what?
Like,
You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to steal from a different list.
oh, I like it.
Mm.
Are you taking Henry Cavill?
No. Would that work? I don't. He's no. Henry Cavill is not a Hal Jordan. He's not. I don't see it. I am going to go with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, all right.
Oh, Gosling. Nice.
Although I'm sure the studio is going to jump in and say, actually,
All right.
you pick
Someone's
this
actor
person.
is getting
and,
nuked here. So let's see. Let's see who no longer has a choice. Spin that wheel.
This is me. If this is me,
Brody.
All right, it's not me.
Oh no.
It's Charlie.
Okay. To ensure that there are no shenanigans, this is a number situation here.
Okay.
There was a list that circulated around Hollywood desks of the biggest movie stars of still to this day in 2023, basing off box office and all sorts of stuff. It's a terrible list for Superman. Oh my goodness, is it a bad list for Superman? and my whole movie is about to get absolutely eviscerated. So I need you guys to collectively put your minds together and pick a number 1 through 10 for me. But please, there's a couple of real landmines on the list. Don't pick those numbers. I'm sending you psychic vibes. Do not pick them.
What do you think, Tudong? Should we go right in the middle? Should we go with 5?
Yeah, let's go 5.
All right. We're going with 5.
5?
It's 5.
All right. Your new Superman is Denzel Washington.
Huh.
Interesting. Could have been worse. Could have been much worse.
It could have been worse. I'm just going to put Denzel here. All right.
What were some of the landmines, Charlie?
Yeah.
Can you give us
Kevin
some
Hart?
examples?
Kevin Hart would have been a tough one to overcome.
As Superman.
Tom Hanks would have been real rough.
Oh.
The Rock would have been interesting. It could have worked. It would have been a different movie.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler was on the list. Tom Cruise, Brad
Adam
Pitt,
Sandler's the worst
Will
one,
Smith,
really.
Leonardo DiCaprio, and Keanu Reeves rounded out the list. So there was some that could have worked.
Wow.
Definitely some worse ones. Keanu could have worked. There was some
I
that
say
could have
Adam
worked.
Sandler was the worst on that list. Like you can't. Your movie is dead in the way. There's nothing you can do.
Adam
Nothing.
Sandler, Superman, and he could play Lois Lane. It's like you got the whole cast for what? He's like Jimmy Olsen. Come on.
Denzel.
Denzel. All right, this is gonna. You guys are gonna have to help me.
You're doing like I guess you could be doing like a Earth 1, Kingdom Come type of deal.
A grizzled, wise Superman. All right. Well, we'll see how it all comes
Kingdom
together.
Come. It's kind of Kingdom Come. All right.
So this is going to be a little different here. The studio demanded that we get a high-profile MCU actor to portray the villain in our films. So they narrowed it down to the original Avengers. So our choices are Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo, or Chris Hemsworth. So we have to pick from this list, and I am up first. And I need to pair someone with Denzel Washington in an Edgar Wright Helms Superman film. So I'm going to go...
So maybe not Kingdom Come.
I'm going to try to match ages here, so I'm going to go Robert Downey Jr., so at least we're still in the same grizzled...
So
this is probably...
So is this Lex Luthor for you then?
Well...
Are we kind of going iconic?
We'll see.
We don't
know yet.
We don't know that. You guys can think about what villain you might want, but the studio might take it away in the next category. So,
jeez, Charlie. Okay. So now it's
Dylan's over here dancing through raindrops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. If I've got Ryan Gosling, let's go. Gosh, mean, like, who could I might get Sinestro, but I don't know who else you might have picked. Sheesh. Let's go Chris Evans.
Now, remember, they both were paired together and he was the villain again from the Gray Man on Netflix.
True.
With Ryan Gosling as the good guy.
Reunited.
I never saw it.
All right, Dylan. Who's going to be your Marvel Avenger villain in the Batman universe?
Chris, I can't believe it took Chris Evans, bro. Right with. I mean, it's exactly. He played a villain in The Gray Man with Ryan Gosling's good guy. Unbelievable.
Take Hemsworth. Hemsworth could do a good villain, I bet.
You know what? You're right. I am going to go Hemsworth.
All right.
And isn't Carl Urban also Australian?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's going to be a good day for you to film. All right. So now we get to pick the actual villain. And I believe, Brody, you were up first with Green Lantern villains. Now keep in mind that the studio may have a different idea about who they'd like to be the villain in your movie. So don't get too attached. But we have Sinestro, Black Hand, Krona, Parallax, or your choice.
Okay. Sinestro's like the most well known. Parallax, I would love to see a Parallax movie. But Parallax really doesn't need an actor. It would just be like a CGI thing. I'm honestly not familiar with Krona. Black Hand would be interesting, but Chris Evans as Sinestro. I don't know if I like that either. But I don't know. Sinestro's like the most well known.
Don't say he couldn't do it. You know he could do it.
He could. He could
Chris
absolutely.
Chris Evans is very versatile.
Let's do Sinestro. I'm gonna do Sinestro.
All right, I like it.
We didn't get Sinestro as really a bad guy, besides like the mid-credit scene in the last. So stupid. A mid-credit scene. Let's turn Sinestro into a Yellow Lantern. Mid-credit scene. I was so mad. The whole movie right there. All right,
Dylan. We've got your villain choices here. We have the Mad Hatter, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, the Joker, or your choice.
You know, I'm going to go...
I know who I would choose.
You do? Who would you choose, bro?
I think Chris Hemsworth would be an awesome Two-Face.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But see, I was also thinking he could be a good Mr. Zsasz. That's always been such a dark character. But yeah, you know what? I do love Two-Face more. I'm going Two-Face.
Sorry, I feel like I'm drafting your movie for you, Dylan.
Maybe you hadn't thought about it. Like Batman, after all.
Go Carl Urban. Go Chris Hemsworth. Go Two-Face.
I was already going in those directions, bro. You weren't studio. You're my associate producer, just associate producer.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I'll take that.
All right.
I'm probably happier with your movie than my movie.
For my choices, I got Darkseid, Luthor, General Zod, Bizarro. I'm gonna go. I think with Denzel and Robert Downey Jr. I got to go with Lex. I think that's a good pairing.
Yeah.
Of course, the studio is about to interfere and change our villain. So someone's movie is about to get really wrecked. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see who is going to have a bad day.
Oh no, dude! Oh no.
Okay. All right. What's happening?
All right, so the studio caught wind that you were about to do a Batman film without the Joker, and they said absolutely not. So you are now having each character had their own unique studio interference for this villain category. But for the Batman one, if you didn't pick the Joker, it was all about the Joker. Now, had you picked the Joker, we had a whole different terrible thing for you to do. For those of you at home, being Mr. Camera, one of the worst Batman villains of all time, is his head is a giant camera, an old school camera. It's one of the worst things you've ever seen. But now we got Chris Hemsworth as the Joker. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Maybe.
Well, you should have.
Maybe.
You should have associate producer bettered.
Yeah, thanks, bro. You should have made sure that I got RDJ. He could do the Joker. Come on. He could do the Joker, bro. He could do the Joker out of all the other people on here. Chris Evans, I don't know.
This next category is a little bit different than some of our other ones that we've done in the past. You can pick, and the choices don't go away. So there's only 3 choices here, and then there's 1 studio interference. So it doesn't matter what you pick. Everyone can pick the same. We can all end up with the same answer. This is just kind of here because of the studio remake that could kind of ruin your day. So our choices here are an original script, an original story. No one's ever heard it before. It's unique. We can a remake. So maybe we got Chris Hemsworth as the Joker, Carl Urban. Maybe we're doing a little Dark Knight reboot here, a little remake action, or maybe one of the many amazing comic book runs are out there are being turned into a film here. So, Dylan, why don't you, since you just got your Joker implanted, why don't you start us off, man? What do you want? An original story, a remake, or some source material here?
I'm going original script. I think Brad Bird has a story to tell, and it comes from his heart.
I like it. I'm also gonna go original, just because I have no idea what my movie is gonna be. So I'm not sure there's gonna be a source material that's gonna do it, and it certainly wouldn't be a good remake of anything that's been done before. So that's where we're going. I would have ended up with Nuclear Man, by the way, Dylan. Would have been Nuclear
Man.
Oh,
Nuclear
who would
Man.
I have ended up with?
Great.
Yours is my favorite. Made of Wood Killer.
What? I've never even heard of that one.
He's a serial killer in the Green Lantern universe who hits people with baseball bats, kills them, and then carves made of wood into their chests. He's the made of wood killer. It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and it would have been hilarious to make you have to deal with it.
Sounds like it was from maybe the 70s.
Chris Evans running around with a baseball bat, carving wood into people's chests after he bludgeons them to death. But
I was going to say 60s, but the 60s didn't carving things into people's chests. So.
That's fantastic.
What are you doing, bro?
I am going to do a comic book source material because, I'm thinking either the Sinestro Corps War or the War of Rings.
Nice.
I think if I'm stuck with Michael Bay, maybe a War of Rings.
Forgot about Michael Bay.
Trying to factor it in, man. Got to factor in Michael Bay. But maybe a War of Rings where you just have, so many different Lantern Corps that are just battling in space.
That'd be cool.
It's a big story.
Michael Bay can do it.
Well, let's see if the studio has a different idea. So let's spin that wheel and see what happens.
Oh, this wheel.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Oh, Dylan.
Oh, this is perfect. All right, so the studio called, and they didn't think your idea of pitching an original Batman story was going to work out. So they decided that they really wanted you to do an origin story.
Oh,
great. What we need, another Batman origin story.
So they just didn't think the audience was ready to start midstream. We gotta lead them there. So since we're rebooting the franchise, we gotta start from the very beginning. So you have now been given the gift of telling the Batman origin story for the very first time in at least 2 years. So
and so, like, basically what you're saying is Carl Urban is going to be in the bat suit for probably 2 minutes, because it's not even going to be Carl Urban. Because how old is he right now? Is he 40? Is he 45? So basically, it's gonna be what him in the beginning being like, I remember when I was really young, and my parents were killed. I hated it, and I trained a whole bunch. That part was pretty sweet.
I hated it when my parents were murdered.
I hate it when they died.
And you're gonna have to show them getting murdered again. We're gonna have to see it again.
Gotta see it.
Don't forget about the pearls.
I remember when it was me. I remember when I was Batman Year One. I was very green, and it was terrible. And it's Robert Pattinson. I mean, year 2.
Carl Urban, by the way, is 50 years old.
Jeez, 50, and I'm doing an origin story. He's gonna be bookending it. Is all he's gonna be doing. He's gonna be going off. Huh?
Maybe he's 30 when his parents are murdered.
He's gonna be 30 when his parents got murdered. He's gonna be going off.
I'm gonna change my whole life.
Returns. He's gonna have a mustache, and he's gonna be like, I remember when I was Batman. I'm not Batman anymore. I've got to fight mutants now. Unbelievable.
Maybe.
Tudong. So much better than this.
Tudong. What if this is an origin story to Batman Beyond?
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
So old Terry is no longer like a 20-year-old or a teenager. Now he's a 50-year-old? Or are you saying
No.
Bruce, like
Carl could be Batman, old grizzled Batman. You don't
poor
like that,
Carl Urban. He doesn't even get to be real Batman, like in the bad suit. Why? This poor guy. And he's like, I'm only 50. I could be Batman. And now you're making me older. You're making me like 80 years old. This poor guy. Studio interference. He's gonna have to look a lot younger. He could do it. He's a good actor.
Oh, he can absolutely
de-age.
And Kensworth is gonna be the buffest Joker I've ever seen.
You can figure it out, and because hey, you never know what else is going to happen here. So a couple of things left to decide here. The next one is tone. What kind of tone are we thinking for your films here, gentlemen? We got super dark, campy, balls to the wall action, a little comedy action, or you know what? Your choice, bro. What kind of movie are we feeling? What kind of mood do you think Michael Bay is gonna do for your Sinestro War?
It's Michael Bay, so of course we're going super dark, right?
No, that's the specialty.
No, it's Michael Bay. We have to go balls to wall action.
Let's do it.
Yep, that makes sense.
It's gonna be
we're gonna start with action. We're gonna keep going, and then we're never letting up. We're never letting the foot off the gas.
I cannot wait to see it. Dylan, what you doing, bud? You've got
comedy action.
Make it a campy. You could have him dress up in the old Adam West costume. Do like the bam and the pow.
Poor Carl Urban. No.
You could make it a slapstick Batman. It'd be great.
Hey, you can do your choice. Do it a detective movie.
Musical.
Western.
Samurai movie. I will go your choice. I'm gonna go thriller.
All right.
Like psychological thriller?
No, like an action thriller. It's gotta be thrilling, and it's gotta be a thriller. But it's also, I wanted to be a little bit lighter. I almost went comedy action because of Brad Bird, but I was like, oh, we'll make it action thriller.
I was really hoping I'd have your choice left on the board for me. I'm kind of leaning to super dark.
Yeah, with Edgar Wright. Go comedy action.
Comedy action with Edgar Wright.
Yeah, with Edgar Wright, that's perfect.
With Denzel and RDJ. I don't know. Like,
Denzel.
That's perfect.
I was kind of thinking like grizzled. Maybe like there's been war and famine and pestilence.
No. That's perfect. Perfect, I say.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I have been wanting a lighter Superman movie for a little while, so I am going to go comedy action.
There you go.
It doesn't make sense,
Charlie.
But
I don't want to see your movie. I'm sorry.
What? You don't want to see my movie? I don't want to see your movie.
I want to see
Michael Bay.
I want to see this Edgar Wright,
I hope your
Denzel,
movie gets interfered
RDJ,
with next.
Superman, Lex Luthor movie. I do want to see it. I am exceedingly curious.
I'm going to sell you when I do my ending pitch. I'm going to sell you on it. All right. There's no interference for this category. The interference.
there's not.
No, there is interference. Excuse me. Interference. Oh no. Oh, Dylan. I'm so sorry. We will not be having a thriller, but we will be having an emotional drama.
Oh, I can live with that. Okay, yes.
That's
yes.
the tone
Emotional.
the studio wants. They wanted to see an emotional drama, a real character piece.
With Chris Hemsworth as the Joker.
There's gonna be a lot of soliloquies. I want there's gonna be a lot of long monologues. A lot of Carl Urban looking out rainy windows.
Yeah.
The whole story is told in flashbacks, his origin. And he's like, you probably didn't know this, but my parents were murdered when I was a kid. Let me tell you how that shaped my life. And then it turns out he's talking to Chris Hemsworth, who's the joke. Hey, I don't need to write your movie for you. You got it. You got it covered.
Right. I didn't know that happened. I mean, I haven't perfected my accent yet. I didn't know that happened to you.
The studio is making a demand of all of our pictures. There has to be a love interest. Now, for the Superman movie, they want to see a Lois Lane cast. For the Green Lantern, they want a Carol Ferris cast. And for Batman, they demand a Selena Kyle. But they would really like it to be someone who appeals to a younger demographic and also someone who will help push soundtracks. So we are going to be picking a number 1 through 8 and getting a top female Billboard artist to portray the love interest in our movies.
Carl Urban is 50 years old, bro, just said. All
right, Dylan, you get to go first this time, so you're picking a number 1 through 8. 1 through 8.
Oh, man.
2.
2? All right. So it's going to be great. Doja Cat is going to be...
how old is Doja Cat? I don't know how old she is.
You know what? I will look that up for you real quick.
Who is Doja Cat? I've never even heard of this person.
Oh, Brody, you gotta get with it. 27 years old, so it could have been worse. Looking at the top 100, it could have been worse, but not too, not the most age appropriate, but not as bad as it could have been.
It's not as bad as it could have been. Okay, not as bad.
She's a great dancer. She's got, so she could do a lot of the choreography, I bet. In your emotional drama that doesn't have any fights.
So glad she's at least in her late 20s. At least in her late 20s. I was like, oh, come on.
I need you guys to pick a number 1 through 8 for me, not 2. But you guys got to pick for my number.
1 through 8. Should we pick number 1 or number 8? What do you think?
Let's go 8.
8?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right, so Lois.
Yeah, who is it?
Will be played by Lizzo. So,
yes. How old is Lizzo now? I would have accepted Lizzo.
Lizzo is, first of all, she's a fantastic performer and an incredibly talented artist, and I bet she could act the hell out of that role.
Hell yeah.
She is 35 years old, so she is.
Oh, that would have been perfect for Carl Urban.
Not exactly for Denzel, but hey, could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Brody, 1 through 8. You can't pick 2. Can't pick 8.
Let's go 6.
I wanted you to pick number 1, but number 6 is good. All right, Brody, she actually has some acting experience. She was fantastic in her role in Austin Powers. You get Beyonce.
Okay.
Nice.
Who's number 1?
Taylor Swift. Would have been great.
Yeah, I knew it.
Also, number 3 was Adele. 4, Dua Lipa. 5, Olivia Rodrigo, which would have been real awkward for your movie, Dylan. Billie Eilish as well, a little awkward on the age spectrum there for Carl Urban to be perving a little bit. So,
interestingly, Carl Urban's not as old as Denzel is old. How old is Denzel?
No.
Is he 60?
Hey!
70s, I think.
You picked Carl. I had some studio interference. I love me some Denzel, but Beyonce's 41. You ended up with the youngest at 27, so we it's a little.
That's a good point.
Not too bad. All right. All right, well, there we go. There's our love interests, our roles there to be played.
Denzel is 68, by the way.
It's gonna be
How
a
old
great
is
Superman.
Ryan Gosling?
Oh, I don't know, probably 40.
No, he's not.
All right,
40.
this is our last category, boys.
Okay. Yeah.
42.
And we are picking
42.
based on how we're
And
feeling about our
Beyonce's
movie.
41. Is that what you said?
I think so. So that's actually our only real age appropriate pairing here. So you get based on how you're feeling, like with the quality of your film. Are you starting a franchise that is gonna lead off the interconnecting DCU? Is this a one-off film? Is it gonna, are we not feeling the faith in our movie, or is this gonna create its own standalone trilogy, not necessarily connected to the larger DCU, but carving out its own little niche on perhaps a separate Earth? And I believe, Dylan, are you up first for this one?
Again?
Yeah, because Brody picked the tone.
Oh, right. I mean, like, are they? Are if I choose one, is it going to be off the list?
Yep.
Oh.
Come on,
I'll do standalone trilogy.
Oh man, that's the one I wanted. My movie's gonna be so good. It had to be a standalone trilogy. I think that. Okay, I'm looking at your movie, Brody, and I'm looking at my movie, and I'm thinking, which one is gonna launch
Which one has
the
longevity?
DCU? Which I think my movie's got more legs, personally. No, I'm gonna go a one-off for my movie. We do not need to create a franchise out of this, but it is a story that demands to be told, and so it will be told once. Which leaves you, Brody, with a franchise.
I am
launching the DCU, but
launching
wait,
the DCU.
the studio has.
Oh, no.
I got the studio on the phone. They got some other plans.
No, it's gonna be me. Oh, it's gonna be Dylan again.
Unbelievable.
All right, Dylan. Well,
Unbelievable.
well, awkwardly enough, Dylan, the studio loved your pitch so much. They want you to be a tent pole that they are going to build the entire DCU around, and not only they're going to build the whole DCU, but they want 2 spin-offs from your movie that you're going to need to pitch here. One animated and one television show that is going to be spinning off your emotional drama of your Batman film. Well, boys, it's time to pitch your movie. So, who wants to go first? Me?
Charlie, you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I will go first. I am going to be creating a Superman film. Unlike, and I can say this with great certainty, unlike any Superman movie that you have ever seen. With director Edgar Wright at the helm, and seasoned veteran actors Denzel Washington and Robert Downey Jr., the Superman legacy has never been in better hands. We're taking some of the classic characters. We got Clark Kent and Superman with Denzel, and we got Lex Luthor portrayed by Robert Downey Jr. Will he have hair? Will he have a shaved head? I'm gonna leave that to Robert gets to make that call. Robert gets to make that call because you know what? He's Robert freaking Downey Jr. He might have a mustache. Let him be Tony Stark, and he's like, but in an alternate universe. But I'm also this is like the evil version of Tony Stark. I'm a billionaire who has a lot of kryptonite. This is going to be an original story because, quite frankly, no one has thought to do this yet in the comic books. To cast a 68-year-old Superman and tell the story, but
a 68-year-old.
And it's going to be a comedy action for some reason. I picked that, so it's going to be funny. Let me tell you something. I believe that that Danny Glover's character in Lethal Weapon used to say, "I'm getting too old for this," and he was like 41. So let that sink in. He was like 40 when he was getting ready to retire, and saying, "I'm too old for this." So I got 68-year-old Superman, and he's gonna be saying that he's gonna be like, "I'm getting too old for this." I'm getting a little slower. I'm not as fast. Am I faster than a speeding train? Probably, but maybe it's a closer race now, and he's going to be having a torrid love affair with a much younger woman, portrayed beautifully by Lizzo. There's going to be long flute breaks where she's playing flute and singing.
Good.
No longer will she work at the Daily Planet, but she's going to work at a nightclub. We're changing things up. A nightclub owned by Lex Luthor, and that's right. And so there's going to be an immediate love triangle in my film. It's going to be a really funny movie with a lot of quick cut action sequences, really well done. But at the end of the day, it's going to be carried by the gravitas of two of the finest American actors to ever grace the silver screen. And I challenge you to think long and hard about who you would rather trust the beloved Superman franchise to. These two cultural icons. So there you go.
I think we've got another Kiss Kiss Bang Bang on our hands right here. That's what I think. That's
fantastic.
That's perfect.
There you go.
If RDJ plays Lex Luthor exactly like he played in that would be such a quirky, odd Lex Luthor, and still better than Jesse Eisenberg's.
It's going to be hilarious, but also moving. All right, Brody, you got a pitch for us?
Sure. All right, so we are launching the DCU, the brand new DCU, because we haven't been to space. We saw some glimpses of Green Lanterns here or there in the DCEU, but we never got the full grasp of what this area of this universe looks like. So we are launching the new DCU with the Green Lantern. We are going balls to the wall action. We are starting with action. Opening scene is action. And what are we doing? Because we are going comic source. We are doing let's do War of the Rings. Okay. Yeah, War of the Rings. So we've got all the different rings. We've got green, we've got pink, we've got yellow and blue and indigo and violet. They are all battling in space. We've got Ryan Gosling, Hal Jordan, the most famous Green Lantern. We've got a bunch of other Green Lanterns that will have prominent parts, probably. We'll have Kyle Rayner and Kilowog and Jon Stewart. We also have Beyonce as Star Sapphire, who is part of the pink rings. So she'll be flying around, helping out the Green Lanterns when needed. And then we've got the yellow. We've got Chris Evans coming into Sinestro, right? He is all about the fear. He's got his whole Sinestro core. What did I say, Charlie? Did I say something wrong?
I'm sorry. I was just picturing Beyonce singing, "If you like it, you should have put a ring on it." But to the Green Lantern. The whole dance number of the Lantern chorus. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
It's like it was meant to be, right? So we've got Chris Evans as Sinestro, leading the Sinestro Corps with all of their fear. It's just going to be war and battles and everything. I'm not sure how we're launching the DCU since everything is taking place up in space, but maybe at some point we can visit Earth. You know, maybe when the black rings come out, we'll have to get the white rings at some point.
Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they just need a snack.
When we got to Darkest Night, we had all the superheroes. So maybe we're launching the DC.
Ooh, I like it.
With the Blackest Night,
yes.
But we're starting out with the war. So we will see. But this thing, it's directed by Michael Bay, so don't expect a whole lot of depth, but expect some really cool visuals and lots and lots and lots of action.
It's a good pitch, bro. I mean, it's no Denzel 68-year-old Superman pitch, but I like it. It's pretty good. Now, Dylan, tell us about your Batman emotional drama that you've crafted.
The studio led, apparently. This is a studio movie.
Picture it. Gotham City. Rainy night. Empty room. There's a window overlooking the city, and it's raining. It's raining hard, and we see inside from the rainy window that Batman's inside. He's got his hands behind his back. He's looking and seeing the city the city that made him, the city that he loves, even though it took everything from him. And he's talking. He's reminiscing, thinking. He's explaining what happened to him. Psychologicalness of it. We got Brad Bird writing and directing. Yes, I said writing and directing. And I gotta say, as fun and as actiony as The Incredibles was, it was there were dramatic parts, there was emotional, all of that. We get to cut right inside of Batman as he bears his soul and he's talking about from his perspective, changed him into it. Flashes of it as he's who he is and who he was and who he's becoming. And he's people he's met, Catwoman, the Joker. And it turns out that that's the person who he's talking to. In the room is the Joker sitting we see it at the end. Even though we've seen the Joker a bit in the past, just a bit though, just a bit, not a lot. That's the only way I could justify having Doja Cat as Catwoman with with Batman, because we'd have to have a younger Batman when he's talking about how person. There you go. See, so we'd have to establish that he is not just. If it's going to be a tentpole kind of a thing where he's going to have to play a bigger role because Carl Urban is just too charismatic, and he's sitting, and I want to hear his Batman voice as he talks about how, we would go through his parents' death, but we would just see flashes of it because we've seen it so many times in the training and all of those kinds of things. And I was like, it would be cool if he was talking to the Joker and actually telling him about who he is. He doesn't ever say his name. He never ever once says his name. Nobody in the story is like, so Bruce Wayne. Yeah, and I mean, obviously there would have to be some sort of a threat because there'd have to be some kind of action in it. This is why he's probably talking to him or something along those lines. But Brad Bird, I trust him. I trust his judgment. He would take that sort of a thing and he would interject some sort of urgency along with like the feelings. He's good at combining the feelings and the urgency.
I like it. I Carl Urban sipping like a real strong whiskey, smoking a cigar in his gravelly Batman voice, talking about yesteryear. I can see myself getting it. Maybe the whole movie is a psychological interrogation of the Joker to like save Rachel Dawes, who's dead already. That doesn't matter. I'm a big fan of your project, Dylan, but I need from you real quick the animated spin-off and the television spin-off that the studio has demanded.
Oh yeah. Okay. No. I got it. The television spin-off would be with Doja Cat as the Young Adventures of Catwoman.
I love it. And that was the television, or that was the animated? I need one of each, please.
Yikes.
What about Bat Tales, the animated story? Carl Urban just tells stories about Batman.
Oh, that would be kind of cool, actually. Wow. And he's got to be smoking.
There was a penguin
this time.
He comes waddling up to me.
He sounded like Popeye for some reason.
And they called him the Mad Hatter. They called him Mr. Camera. He had a camera on his head. Couldn't believe it.
I am so glad I didn't pick the Joker. That would have been impossible. But that's pretty good. I like that. That'd be good.
I like it.
A good way of getting the Batman animated series back.
There you go.
I will say I want to make a couple of quick amendments, then we can wrap up here because I've had a little time to think. Superman is an old grizzled Superman because he's training Superboy and Supergirl, and we're gonna have like epic training, fun training sequences set to Lizzo's "Good as Hell." It's gonna and then we're gonna have about damn time later when it's time to pass the torch from old Superman to young Superman. That's gonna be bright, upbeat. I want big colors here. Think about like Into the Spider-Verse, but in a live action movie. That's what we're talking about here. That's my pitch for Superman. It's gonna be fantastic. Nice. Torch passing. Denzel, Robert Downey Jr. You can't beat those two actors, even if you tried. You can't name two better ones. Suck it, Hemsworth.
I love a good passing of the torch that's just a one-off movie.
Right.
and Edgar Wright. It's a one-off movie.
And no one said they took the torch. It was passed to them, and they're like, we're good.
Forget it. Never mind.
And everybody died.
Hey, he did.
It was all a dream.
Edgar Wright did Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He could make that work and make it funny and make it cool.
Scott Pilgrim was a one-off. That was a beaut. All right. Also a Henry Cavill film. So I guess this is a good place to end it, boys. I hope you had fun. Hope you all had fun too. Watch out for studio interference can really ruin a project, and I think we illustrated that quite well here tonight. You got to watch out for those studio execs. They don't always know what they're doing. Not like us here at Talk Punch. So make sure you check out some of our other videos that aren't interfered with by studios below the beautiful beard over there. And hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Green Lantern's light.